Have you ever looked at the people around you in a crowded subway, a coffee shop, or even in your own office and wondered, are all of them actually human? It sounds like the plot of a science fiction movie, but the idea that extraterrestrial beings are currently living among us is one of the most enduring and fascinating theories in modern history. For decades, we have been looking up at the stars, building massive telescopes to scan the deep void of space for any radio signals or signs of life. We ask the universe, is anyone out there? But what if we have been looking in the wrong direction this entire time? What if the answer isn't light years away, but sitting right next to us? To understand this, we have to talk about the Fermi paradox. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old, and it contains billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars and potentially trillions of habitable planets. Statistically speaking, intelligent life should be absolutely everywhere, yet we see nothing. So, where is everyone? One of the most compelling answers to this paradox is the zoo hypothesis. This theory suggests that highly advanced alien civilizations are well aware of Earth. However, they intentionally avoid interfering with our natural evolution. Instead, they observe us, much like human scientists observe animals in a nature reserve. And to observe us closely without causing a global panic, they would need to blend in. They wouldn't arrive in giant metallic flying saucers hovering over cities. They would arrive quietly. They would walk our streets, work in our industries, and study our behaviors from the inside. When you think about it from a tactical and scientific standpoint, infiltration is the most logical way to study a primitive species. But how could a creature from another world possibly look like us? This brings us to the fascinating and somewhat terrifying concept of biological avatars. If an alien species is thousands or even millions of years more advanced than humans, their understanding of biology and genetics would be completely unimaginable to us. They wouldn't need to physically travel across the galaxy in their original bodies. The immense radiation of space and the sheer time it takes to travel between star systems make physical travel highly inefficient. Instead, they could simply send data. They could transmit their consciousness or artificial intelligence into biological vessels created right here on Earth. Imagine 3D printed organic bodies engineered to look exactly like humans, blending seamlessly into our society. To a medical scan, they would appear human with a heartbeat, blood, and DNA. But inside their minds, they are collecting data, analyzing our politics, our technology, and our destructive tendencies. Of course, we cannot discuss aliens living among us without touching upon the most infamous internet conspiracy, the reptilian shapeshifters. For years, the internet has been flooded with claims that global elites, politicians, and celebrities are actually reptilian beings wearing human disguises. Videos circulate constantly showing so-called glitches, a strange movement of the jaw, an unnatural blink of an eye, or skin that suddenly looks scaly during a live broadcast. While scientists and video experts quickly debunk these as video compression artifacts or just awkward human behaviors, the psychological impact of these theories is massive. Why do millions of people want to believe that our leaders are not human? Perhaps it is a coping mechanism. When we look at the wars, the greed, and the systemic failures of human society, it is almost comforting to blame it on cold-blooded, emotionless aliens rather than accepting that humans are capable of doing such terrible things. When people hear Men in Black, they usually think of the comedy movies, but the actual folklore is deeply unsettling. Since the 1950s, people who claim to have witnessed UFOs or encountered alien beings have reported terrifying visits. Witnesses describe men arriving in pristine, vintage black cars. They wear spotless black suits, have no facial hair, and their skin is often described as artificial or plastic-looking. They speak in a strange, robotic monotone, often pausing at the wrong times. They don't flash a device to erase memories. They use psychological intimidation. Who are they? Many UFO researchers believe these entities are actually biological drones, synthetic beings created by the aliens themselves, sent to clean up their mistakes and keep their presence on Earth a secret. But keeping a secret is getting harder. In recent years, we have seen a massive shift in how world governments handle the topic of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs. We've seen declassified military footage showing objects moving in ways that defy our understanding of physics. In 2023, high-ranking intelligence whistleblowers like David Grush testified under oath before the United States Congress. They stated that the government not only possesses crashed extraterrestrial vehicles, but also non-human biologics. Think about the weight of those words. If vehicles are crashing and beings are being recovered, it means they are interacting with our physical world. If they have been studying us for decades, it is entirely plausible that they have agents integrated into human society right now. But let's step away from the conspiracy theories for a moment and look inward. What if the aliens living among us aren't physical beings in human suits, but rather the very foundation of our existence? This leads us to the boldest scientific theory of all. We are the aliens. Our DNA is incredibly complex. Some astrobiologists argue that the sudden evolutionary leaps in human history cannot be entirely explained by Darwinian evolution alone. They suggest that our genetic code might have been seeded or manipulated by an advanced intelligence long ago. If this is true, the extraterrestrials don't need to live among us because they live within us. Every human being walking the Earth today would carry a piece of alien architecture in their cells. If it were proven tomorrow that aliens are indeed living among us, how would humanity react? The psychological impact would be staggering. For some, it would shatter their worldviews, but for others, it might be the ultimate unifying force. If we realize that we are sharing this planet with beings from another star, our petty human conflicts, borders, and differences might suddenly seem completely irrelevant. We would finally have to look at each other as citizens of Earth. The next time you are walking through a busy city street, take a moment to look at the people around you. Notice the quirks, the odd behaviors, the strange moments of silence. Statistically, almost everyone you see is just a normal human being trying to navigate life. But in a universe this vast, this ancient, and this mysterious, there is always that small, nagging possibility. Someone in that crowd might just be observing, collecting data, and reporting back to the stars. What do you think? If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next video.